I knew like I knew that I'm gonna get his fucking attention. You know what I'm saying? And then when I got a chance to meet Leo, I was like, Leo, I was because they Irv was when he mentioned Leo, he was like, he always talk like this. You know what I'm saying? So I said, so when I met him, I said, Leo. And he looked at me and I said, I'm the DMV Irv Gotti. And the rest is history. I said it just like that.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So, for those crazy people out there who never heard of you, who never tapped into the industry, who don't know you the dopest of the dopest, give us your name and tell us what you do in a couple of seconds.
Well, listen, man, the one and only HB the engineer. I work with your rappers, favorite rappers. I work with the rappers that you like, that you love, that you listen to, that you admire, that you want to be like that. That's right. I work with them, and those are my friends. Not only do I record them, I mix records, I master records. I mean, you know, one-stop shop, man. I do it all, bro.
I like that. I like that. I like that. So let's go back to where it all started for you when you were young, when you was doing your thing, when you was up and coming, fighting with your sister, get static from your moms, all of that. What made you fall in love with hip hop?
You know what I remember? I mean, it's you know, like I sometimes like with music, I mean, everybody's journey is different, right? But it all comes from something. So it was already embedded in me just as a youngin', from my mom just playing music to my older brother being a hip hop fan. So it was already embedded into me. But what I do remember, I just remember I was watching the like BET Awards one year, and I was just like, yo, like this is dope. Like this music is dope. Like I got to get there. I need to be. It's just one of the things that dawned on. I was like, yo, I need to be at the BET Awards, and I wasn't doing music, bro, and I really wasn't doing music, and that's what started it, bro. And of course, I had a lot of inspiration. Because the story with HB the engineer started off as a producer, and the motivation came from is I really remember like listening to Swiss Beats and Timbaland and Pharrell. And Swiss, really, when I heard Swiss sound, I was like, yeah, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what started. It started from there. It really started from there.
I like that. I like that. I like that. So when your moms was playing music and stuff like that, what song or what artist really grabbed your attention to say, yo, I'm gonna do music? Who was she playing that let HB know that, yo, I gotta do this?
Well, that's like a foundation of my music, because she's playing the oldie but goodie records, you know. So the Michael Jackson, the Al Greens, the Commodores, like everybody, you know, Marvin Gaye. So I was hip to that, to that generation of music just coming out the gate. And then my older brother, he gave me the hip hop feel, which was he was listening to like Rakim and NWA, and you know, he was big on West Coast music. So I mean, all the guys from like, you got to really know hip hop, but you know, like Spice One and I mean MC8, like he was with all that, you know, like Fat Joe before he was fat, I believe. Or no, he was fat then, but we've really been doing it for a long time. So, and I think when I really, I mean, like I said, I heard music for years, but when I really, what I remember is like hearing Bone Thugs, and that's what really, like, when Bone Thugs was around, yeah, that really got me to music.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Bone Thugs and Harmony, they was really dope. So, in the midst of you doing music and stuff like that, you said you wanted to do it. Even though you could flow, you didn't go that route. You went the engineer route. Who bought you your first equipment? What's up? What happened? How did you identify that I wanted to be an engineer in the music game?
Shout out to my boy Judah. Judah who make beats, because Judah had a studio. My homeboys from the neighborhood, they was rappers. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to rap. And you know, just with those relationships, it was like, hey man, we going to studio, and I was like, I'm gonna go. And then I remember going to Judah's studio, and I tell him this every time we see each other once a blue moon. We always laugh about this because here you go with his studio, you know, just a room. And I remember Judah did a record with Scarface, and when I heard that, and I'm like, you did a record with Scarface, bro? Like you actually produced that? And then for some strange reason, I was like, look, I can make beats, bro. But I never made beats a day in my life at that point. You get what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo, I can make some beats, bro. Like, and the Neptunes was around. So I was like, hey, you know, obviously you had like I mean, I don't really know the dynamics of how they did it, but pretty much I looked at it with the Neptune. One person did the sound, one person did the drums. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my thing, I was like, hey man, I can do the drums. I'm crazy on the drums. And I never did anything ever in my life. and you know, and you know, it's like, oh man, you gotta really do it, you know. And then I ended up going to another studio. I don't even remember the engineer name, but he was just like, I said the same thing to him because he was Caucasian, you know. So I was like, hey man, this could really happen. I got the feel, I get the drums, you get the sound. It would be a hit. And then he was like, he wasn't buying it, right? And then he was like, hey, look, there's a software called Fruity Loops. You should try it out. And I did that. I like literally tried it out. And then next thing you know, I was just making beats. I mean, obviously when you start out it's trash, right? But it felt right then. It felt right then. And you know, I remember playing it for a few people and they was like, hey, that sound all right. If you really take this seriously, you might have something. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if they were shooting me the shit, but you know, at the end of the day, like that was really like the motivation. And then I really started, you know, I went into the music store, got my first keyboard, and it took off from there.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Yo, if you are just joining us, you are tuned in to the Pimp Game Podcast, and we are here with the one and only hit maker. That's right, HB, the engineer, been doing it for years in the industry. This brother is nice on the engineer, on the board. He's nice on the board, and I love it. So let me ask you this, because I remember back when I first met you, when I was in an R&B group, you had the bed was over here, the shower was over here, the studio was here, I don't know, the soap was over here. You just had a whole setup downstairs in the basement. It was dope. I had never seen anything like it. It was so much dedication. What's up? What led to the idea of putting the studio in your bedroom downstairs? It was dope. What led to that?
Well, what it was actually when I was working with an artist, right, and I was doing production for him. And then we didn't have no studio. And that's what actually led me to engineering. And I was like, all right, well, I got the production, here's the beat. He wrote the lyrics, but we couldn't track it. We couldn't lay it down. You know what I'm saying? So it just as, I mean, obviously the basement, that's what I was living at that time. And it started with just a keyboard. Then it was another keyboard. Then it was an MPC, you know, and then there's a computer, then there's speakers. Then it was like, it just kept building into all these things, you know what I'm saying? And that's what really led to the studio being there. And once at the end of the day, once I did the production and the artist wrote it, and you know, I had to go through the process of being able to record a person. When I did that, like, you know, I did that for a little while, and that was a little more intriguing to me. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, damn, I was interested in making someone sound good, especially coming from listening to all this great music. I was like, how can I make someone sound like that? And then that just took over. That took over. I got to a point where when I was making beats, you know, I felt myself at a non-creative space. And then engineering just really took over from there. And when I really looked at it, I was like, you know, I looked at all the good engineers and they was like 50, 60. And I was like, all right, you can do this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And I knew production, like making beats, so it's a young man's game, just like, you know, just rapping, like you gotta be in it. So I was like, all right, you know, production, I could do it for about 10, 15, maybe 20 years, but engineering, I could really ride out to 60. So I really looked at it as a business move. And I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go that route. And all that equipment that you saw that I had in the basement, I literally sold all of it. And then I just totally redo it and turned it into a recording studio.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. So, in the midst of you having a studio and stuff like that, you mentioned it earlier. You work with the best of the best. You work with our favorite rappers, favorite
Yeah,
rapper. I like
yeah.
that. I'm feeling that. Who was your first big league rapper that you worked with? How did you get the call to work with them? How did that go down? Who was your first big
Mm.
league rapper that you worked with?
Um, Honestly, I would say it had to be my boy. It had to be my boy Grab. I was working with shout out to my boy Invincible. He's a Jamaican artist, right? And he was like some of the early projects that I did early in my engineering stages, and he had a real solid team, had a real good backing, and by me working on that project, they ended up having like a release party, and then they did the business or invited Graf to the show, and I ended up meeting Graf, and then so big, we've been working with each other ever since that day, bro. And you talking about years, you know what I'm saying, to the point that should we brothers, you get what I'm saying? So I would really say he was the first big that had a name that I worked with. I really want to say everything else was like local, but he was the first like artist that really had a name outside of that.
Graf, shout out to Graf for giving HB his engineer the
Shout out,
first
bro.
time for him doing his thing. I like that. So, in the midst of, because people get starstruck sometimes,
Yeah.
when you see your favorite rapper, you might not be yourself for a couple of minutes. Did you ever get starstruck, at least in the beginning, when you were working with some of the bigger name artists, when you move outside of Graph? Did you ever get starstruck when you work with them?
Yeah, keep it 100. Yeah, of course. Like it's a natural. It's natural to go from being inspired and listening to artists, and you seeing them on a big stage or big platform, and then next thing you know, you're with that artist, or you're in a room with that artist, or you're working on that artist's material. You know what I'm saying? So that initial to go from, not working with superstar to working with superstar, absolutely. And the first superstar that I really that bugged me out. I played it cool. I ain't gonna front. I really played it cool, but it was Bun B, and
Oh, that's
I remember that, and I was like, yo, this is the dude that was on Big Pimpin' with Jay-Z. You get what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo, like the whole time I was like, yo, this dude can really call Jay-Z right now. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, cool. But so yeah, it was Bun because I remember when I saw Bun, I'm thinking UGK Big Pimp. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
and I'm like, that video shoot was crazy.
So, you was starstruck by you said Bun B.
Yeah,
When your name started floating around in the industry, I know that the industry is kind of small.
yeah.
Was it a surprise call that you got from anybody that maybe you didn't expect to get a call from? And it was like, yo, I want to work with you. I heard about you. Was there a surprise call that HB got?
Well, I mean, I always say, yeah, I'm always excited with any artist I work with. So when I get a phone call to work with any artist, I'm excited about that because it's an experience, especially with that for that moment. But I've always been surprised that really through this journey of music, the spaces that I was in, you know what I'm saying? Like going to Michael Jordan's birthday party. You get what I'm saying? And then and being amongst stars that's stars, you know what I'm saying? From NBA players to LeBron to Kevin Durant to Jay-Z, Beyonce to Drake. Now this is Drake early too, but I'm just saying, like, I was always surprised that music got me into these spaces. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's just always been my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, I can't believe like just mixing records got me into where I'm at right now. You know what I'm saying? And into this space where it's appreciated, it's recognized, and it's respected.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Yo, if you're just joining us, you're tuned in to the Pimp Game Podcast, and we are here with the one and only HB, the engineer. That's right. Your favorite rappers.
Let's give
This
it up.
dude
Let's give
is
it up for
nice.
HBO. Let's give it up for HBO.
I like it. So, HB, let me ask you your name, HB. HB the engineer. It's catchy. I see you with the chain on. It's dope. How did you come up with the name HB?
Well, you
The
know,
engineer.
HB, I was, you know, just coming up. I remember watching the Chicago Bulls, and I remember just being a young, and I used to like the names with I like the regular like short names. So I remember like a BJ. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember BJ Armstrong for the Chicago Bulls, and I was like, yeah, BJ is cool. That's a cool ass name, yo. You know. And then I remember everybody had names, and when DMX came out, I didn't know what the hell the DMX was about. I didn't care, but I was like, damn, that's cool. So I really was just like, one time we just watched a movie, and it was the Hellboy movie, right? And then I remember homies was like, he was watching, he was like, bro, you funny like this dude on this joint, you know what I'm saying? And then but I was like, yeah, like Hellboy, you know, that's demonic and shit like that, right? But so I was like, oh, HB, right? So then I just knew as a brand that because that's what HB came from. And I remember just as a brand, I knew that you had like you couldn't just search HB. So I knew I had to put something with it. And I wanted that to be super authentic. And I was like, you know, I'm an engineer at the end of the day. You know, everything I do is an engineer. So, you know, then it was like HB the engineer. I was like, yeah, it's fire. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it came about.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Definitely dope name. I really like that. So your top 5 producers or engineers in the game right now. Give me HB the engineers, top 5 engineers / producers in the game right now that you're feeling.
Well, so, and you got some good ones, but of course, you got the great, gotta be Dr. Dre. All right. You got, which he's an engineer and he's a producer. You got Swiss. You got Pharrell. I'm gonna go left. Let me go with like a Just Blaze, right? And then the engineer, it would be me. Let's give it up for me.
Clap that up. Clap that up. I like it.
I want to give a shout out to me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So you've been doing some working in the business arena, been making some connections. You talk with what they call them, the culture vulture. You know, Dame Dash don't like him, whatever. Leo Corin. Oh, yeah. You did some work with him or kind of met up with him, got something going on. Can you talk about that maybe a little bit? Maybe you want to say everything. Can you talk about that to us? What went down with Leo Corin?
I'm going to tell you, like, look, it is what it is. Like, industry is industry. When you're talking about entertainment, you're talking about music, whatever it is, a lot of people shoot their shot. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I knew that with Leo, like I just had a window with him, you know what I'm saying? Because so many people, because everything he done, you know, everybody's gonna come on left, right? And then I remember when I got a chance to meet him, I had just got finished watching like the Irv Gotti joint, you know, and Irv Gotti was saying some of the stuff that he would say like when they would go back and forth, you know what I'm saying? So you know, Irv was like, yeah, Leo, or like he used to mimic him, his voice and shit like that. You know? So I knew that I'm gonna get his fucking attention. You know what I'm saying? And then when I got a chance to meet Leo, I was like, Leo, because Irv was when he mentioned Leo, he was like, he always talk like this. You know what I'm saying? So I said, when I met him, I said, Leo. And he looked at me and I said, I'm the DMV Irv Gotti. And the rest is history. I'm saying it just like that too.
If David Dash is tuned into the Pimp Game podcast, I know he's not gonna like that. The culture vulture, you partnered up with him, but that's what's up. Leo Corin, he's been doing his thing in the industry for a long time. So you went from Leo Corin to now, you got some projects out there you working on. Could you talk about studio that you got working on, or that you're working on now? What kind of studio are you bringing to the DMV for those artists?
Shout out to Osbergs, because I mean, to the company Osbergs, that's the super high end, pretty much in my opinion, one of the best studio speakers. It's the biggest, you know, it's the best. So I've been able to link up with them, and we're doing a partnership to bring that level of recording studio to the DMV. And it's something I always wanted to do. Obviously, shout out to everyone who invests in the studios in our market. But I feel like that, you know, it's two things in business. Is you got guys who invest in studio because they love the game, but they're not engineers. So they may get a dope spot, but the equipment may not really be the best that it could be. And, you know, it is what it is. And you got engineers that's really dope engineers that really try to build studio, and they really get good gear, but they don't really have the money to get the space. So my thing is to really like bring both of that together to really bring the best of the best. No differently when you go to LA, New York, Atlanta, Miami, you go to these top-notch studios. All the studios here is really great, but it's personal. So we need one that's really here that a lot of dope artists can go to, and the quality is A1, and you know for sure it's, you know, it's gonna be top-notch. Then on top of that, that creates a market where you can get a lot of networking. Then you want to be able to go to the studio, and again, let's say Wale is in the other room, and then you may have an opportunity to work with him because y'all in the same environment. You get what I'm saying? Right. And that's the part that's really missing to me, is that because the studios are personal, you really it's really not a super way to network very easy, because you'll hear stories like in New York, they'll tell you like, shout out to Quad Studio, because I've been going to Quad Studios lately. So I could go to Quad Studio and be in room A, but then it could be Jim Jones in room B. You see what I'm saying? And because he's who he is and I'm who I am, hey, let me link up with Jimmy. You get what I'm saying? And then it could just, because you're in that same space, and then the next thing you know, it could be HB and Jimmy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it can happen like that, and it cannot happen like that. But the thing is the opportunity. You know? So I like that. That's what I want to, you know, that's what we're working on. That's the goal here. Project wise, you know, working on some EPs. Right? I'm working on 2 EPs right now. One is called Ghost. That's a project that I just got some of my good friends on from the DMV. So all the top guys that's in that area, I got them on that project. And then I'm doing another project that's called Billboard HB. And
I like that.
It's only right because I worked on a record, artist named Madison. She's a country artist, and went, you know, she chopped the billboards on that. So that's my first Billboard placement on record that hit Billboard. So at this point now, you know, I look at all the greats. I look at Rick Ross. You know, he started off at Rick Ross and he went to Rose. I look at Jay-Z. He went to Hov. Kanye West went to Yeezy. So now HB, the engineer, has went to Billboard HB. You get what I'm saying? Because everything that I'm doing is prepping Billboard. You feel me? So that's what's happening. You know. I like that. Billboard HB, it will be my biggest project because I have the biggest artists on that project. So all the legends, I'm working with all the legends, and they are all on that project.
I like that. HB Billboard. I like that. I'm feeling that hard. So, in terms of you, like projects, anything you might be looking to do? I know Timberland got like a school where he shows people how to produce. Anything like that might be in the works for HB, maybe showing people how to engineer on that level of a HB. Anything like that going on?
Yeah, that's going to always be a focus. There's always going to be a focus how I can get back to the engineering community, because it's you know, that's why the album is called Ghost, because at the end of the day, engineers is like a lot of times you don't even know who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like they literally can work on the biggest record and be in Walmart with you, or Target, or whatever store you like to work. It could, you know, you don't know who these people are. So that's the thing, is I'm always just trying to bring light to engineering, or to the engineers, and to up that status, because I feel like engineers are super important to the industry. We bring artists and producers together. We make that magic happen. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like engineers should be more upfront than what it is. So I'm always just trying to do what I can do, bring light to that. yeah, I'm always looking to educate and to help up and coming engineers out too as well. So I'm always looking at ways to do that creatively, but cool. You always got to be cool. No whack juice. No whack juice. I'm never going to be associated with whack juice. You get what I'm saying? So it got to be cool, bro. It got to be cool. It got to be a cool way that's done. And that's what I'll be associated with.
I like that. I like that. I like that. All right. So for any young dude out there, young girl out there who want to be the next Timberland, who want to be the next HB, the engineer, what would you say to them that maybe they need to watch out for if they want to get in the game and be an engineer in this music industry?
Well, you gotta follow the dream, and you gotta do exactly what you want to be. One of the things when I first got I don't know who this kid was. I remember I called the music store trying to get some equipment. And he told me at the end of the day, you just gotta understand what you want to be and who you want to be. At the end of the day, put it to you like this: there's engineers with studios that cost 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, 200,000, $500,000, $1 million. And the question is, which one of those engineers are you? And once you understand which one of those engineers that you are, then you move accordingly to that.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I really like that. All right. So in terms of your fans, people who want to work with you, people who might want to write a song to one of your beats or what have you, maybe they want to travel with you, go to an award with you. How do they get in contact with HB, the engineer?
Very simple. Shoot your shot. Everything is HB the engineer. Every social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, hell, even Facebook. Shoot your shot. It's like everything else. That's what social media is now. You get a chance to shoot your shot, and you just never know. I read everything. I try to look at everything. I try to listen to everything. There's people from overseas that hit me. Hey, I'm a producer. I'm looking to get some record space. Can I send you some beats? Here's the email. Shoot your shot. And you never know what can happen,
I like that. I like that. I like that. All right. So for those people who go back when you was with Invincible, your homeboy, the reggae artist, where you had the studio inside the room, downstairs in the basement with the bed, the soap, the shower was there, all of that. For those people, any final thoughts for your fans before we sign off on Pimp Game?
I mean, at the end of the day, man, you just look, we all got the same 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? You gotta live it to the max. Tomorrow ain't guaranteed. We just gotta go hard, be all that we need to be great. And really, I would say this. I used to look at speeches like at award shows and stuff like that, or and I used to be like, yo, give me that thing. I need to know like what it is to get in the game, because everybody want to know how do I get in? And then everyone used to always say, yeah, just be yourself. And I was like, come on, man, come on, like really. But honestly, that's what it is. It's really just being yourself and understand that you are a talent and understand that the value that you bring to whatever it is that you do. You know what I'm saying? And you are unique, and you have to have that confidence and understand that there's a lot of people that look like you, that act like you, that talk like you, that like the same thing you like. So therefore, you are of value, and you have to bring that to light and be yourself.
I like that. I heard it from HB himself. You got to be yourself. I like that. All right. So tell everybody who you chilling with.
Hey, man, listen. You already know what it is. I'm chilling with the one and only Kenny B on Pimp Game Podcast. You feel me?
All right, and that concludes our show for this evening. And before I let you go, I'd like to thank all my viewers out there for tuning in, as well as my YouTube lovers. I'd like to thank you as well. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That's right, you're going to go to iamkennyd and subscribe, and make sure you turn those notifications on so when we upload videos, you are the first to get it. And before I let you go, we want to thank the one and only HB, the engineer, been doing it for a while now in the game, in the music industry. We want to thank him for blessing us with his presence. All right? See you next time on Pimp Game. You don't want to miss it. Holla.
Audio Jungle.